conspiracy theories. Tomorrow's conspiracy theories. Tomorrow's heaven. I ain't talking about no bedtime. I ain't talking about no bedtime. You need to get your head right. The Greek goddess get your head right. The Greek goddess N9. I'm not a coincidence theorist. I'm not a correct line. Theorist, I look for deadlines. So long as smashing red wine. Though I can hear the red chime, it feels like hear the bell chime. It feels like the end time. Smash the red wine, but the carnal mind is foolish. Obey, carnal mind is foolish. Obey, use like to take control. Don't let you use it. Make a load of earners. Use it. Make a load of earners. Shouldn't you person? If this whole world is pure abuse it. Know a bit about everything about nothing. Know a bit about everything about you sit about watch another like child. Stop it out of me. Sit down, cocky. I'm like a child of it. It's like me. Stop cocky. I'm a child. Honest, but you sound honest. Never been about honest. Everything but out. Sound honest. But your house. I'm down. I'll be out for the count when the sound. I'm down for the beat. No beat down. I mean down for the beat. No out. I mean the only one who's held me down. All in the mind held me now. Still safe with the help me now. Few bars down in the will help out. I'll reach out. I'll reach out to speak out. I'll recount the reasons to be out. I'll recount the reasons to be out.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the 509 Divine Pods podcast, man. Thank you guys for being here. Like, subscribe, and share. Tell everybody around that this is going down. Put some kush up in the air, man. These broadcasts this week will be better than yesterday. Yeah, man. I just had a little bit of a slow day just because of the pain that I was going through. But everything should be sharp this week and headed on to the rest of the year. I kind of like took too long of a break. It was like 2 months that I took a break, and 2 months sometimes is too long. You kind of lose a beat, you kind of lose a step. But I was doing my own thing, getting myself right, getting my health right, getting my life and energy on a more proper pace, I guess. Getting myself in a more proper place, I guess you could say. Hope everybody is starting off 2026 right. I've already been writing down goals, making goals, accomplishing the things that I have been writing down. The start of the year, I kind of figured that there would be a few things that I needed to get into my life in order to balance it and in order to make my life good for this year. A couple of the things that I wrote down for the start of this year were to add a couple fermented foods. So 4 to 5 fermented foods. The 4 to 5 fermented foods would be yogurt. Yogurt is very good for you, healthy for you, simple. You could add it to your oatmeal, add it to many things. You could just eat it how it is. Make sure to get clean, good yogurt, whole milk yogurt. If you're lactose, do what you can and do what you will. The other fermented foods would be kimchi. Kimchi is a very, very powerful food. You can add to all sorts of different things, beef, chicken, cooked foods, probably some dry foods with crackers, all sorts of different things. Fermented for sure. And this is going to strengthen your gut. And when you strengthen your gut, you also strengthen your mind. And when you strengthen your mind, you also strengthen your muscles. And so it's kind of like a working reaction. You just bless one thing and another thing will bless, and then the blessings keep on going. That's how it is when you apply good things to your life. And kimchi is one of them. So yogurt, kimchi. You can also add sauerkraut. So sauerkraut is amazing for your gut, and have these weekly or smaller amounts daily if you want. You could also put them on hot dogs, all sorts of different things. Sauerkraut is pretty simple. It's like cabbage, pretty much just cabbage, and it's really healthy, really, really, really healthy. So please enjoy these so far. Yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut. Also, what you can add is kefir. Kefir is like liquid yogurt, but 1,000 times more potent and healthier, and works better for just your overall strength and health. And you put these foods inside your gut normally weekly, daily. Your immunity will go up. Your mm, your food choices will be smarter. Your hunger sensations will wither out. Just a whole bunch of positive health benefits that you will go ahead and feel from kefir, yogurt, kombucha, kimchi. And the last is kombucha. Kombucha is the one that I actually started with a couple years ago. And well, I mean, I guess, okay, of course I ate yogurt like naturally as a kid, but I didn't really know it and understand it on that level, right? So kombucha was the one that I started understanding was a very, very super powerful healthy product that we can buy from the store. I like to say it's like the adult soda, and so it's pretty much, tastier, better, healthier than a soda, but also gives you a little bit of fizz and kick like a soda. And sometimes, you can get like awesome flavors, cherries, lemonades, all sorts of different flavors. Any flavor that you really like, you can definitely find it in a kombucha flavor, and you'll go ahead and thank yourself later because you won't feel that burp, that bloating, that acid reflex hitting when you drink like too much Coca-Cola, Pepsi cans, Dr. Pepper cans, all those, 7-Up, Sprite cans. American sodas are garbage. I ain't gonna lie, I do enjoy some Mexican cane sugar soda bottles, Coca-Cola bottles. Hey man, just like nostalgia, right? And it's good flavor, better than this American stuff like cheap high fructose corn syrup. Pretty nasty, pretty junk filled. Kombucha, total opposite. All of these 5 fermented foods will clear up all that junk that you got for decades when you started eating those McDonald's, Taco Bells all night, every night when you get the munchies like me. Because, I was doing that. So I expect you guys to do it too, right? Yo, all right. Those are the first 5 4 or 5 fermented foods you can add, because I don't expect you guys to add all 5. Some people can add 4, some people can add 3, whatever. But I hope that you can at least apply 4 of those to your normal eating habits or weekly habits, monthly habits. Get yourself right for the new year. Another goal that I had for this year that I've already been very, very well succeeding with is getting daily fitness, daily gym. I know over the last 5 years, you guys have heard enough about me at the gym and get to the gym and get healthy. But no, like for me, this is a different year. Like I've been, um, I've been enjoying it. I've been experiencing a good change in my body, good change in my energy. So making sure that I hit the dim. Oh my gosh, hit the gym daily. Get my water, get my protein. Make sure to get my vitamins, my macros, micros, all that. So one of the key, I guess, stats or I mean rules I guess you could follow in order to make sure that you're getting yourself proper when you're hitting the gym and you're getting your uh proper protein, right? So for me, I weigh like, let's just say hypothetically right now, 195. I don't know exact weight. 195. So every day I'm gonna need to have 195 pounds of protein and approximately 195 ounces of water. So at the start of this year I started doing that. Not only did I start hitting the gym daily, but I started making sure that I'm getting my proper protein and getting my proper H2O intake, cutting out a lot of the sugars, and I have not drank alcohol this year. So yeah. That's also one of the things. I'm not drinking alcohol all of 2026. That is a goal for me this year. I'm I'm pretty happy with it. I really don't care for alcohol. Like, it's been a few years since I really started getting happy with it. I mean, I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't think about it. I don't care for it. It always made me feel sick and groggy in the morning when I drink too much. Drinking the wrong alcohol will make you throw up that night, make your stomach hurt like a mofo. And you know what? The memories are only half as good as when you're sober, anyways. Because I mean, like, I've had amazing memories sober during the morning, during the day, out in wonderful places where I wasn't drunk, and so I, reflect upon that. I'm like, well, the half the time that when I get drunk, or when I was used to getting drunk and having fun, it was mainly with debaucherous situations with debaucherous people. You know, I mean, just party people doing party shit. Bar people doing bar shit. Young people doing young shit, right? So like dumb stuff. And typically that's the only happiness that people find, because it's like, oh, that for the bar crowd, party crowd, right? Like, and I wasn't really out there anymore. I don't really go there. I don't really care. I don't find that fun. At a more mature new stage of my life, so it wasn't really that hard to give up alcohol this year. It was pretty easy, and I would say I feel healthier and better. So there's like, what is this? After about 14 to 30 days off of alcohol, your body starts re-kicking or restarting a few organs that are shut down when you consume alcohol. So like, if you constantly consume alcohol, or you consume alcohol regularly, there's a few certain enzymes and a few certain body processes that are actually shut down and aren't working, aren't on, until you give up alcohol and get it out of your system or get healthy. And I feel better. I feel great. Like, my energy is definitely smoother, sharper. My head's a little clearer, I guess. I was um I was thinking about it. I was like, especially these days when we can't even trust alcohol, when we've heard these stories, and I covered it, Casamigos, Casamigos, and Don Julio 1942, or whatever it is. Both of those were found to have like fake ingredients. I think, well, the parent company was hit with a lawsuit. And so a couple of these major alcohol brands, that they're charging an arm and a leg, $200, $300 a bottle. People are doing stupid prices, stupid prices. I mean, like, literally, these people out here think it's clout, and they like waste their whole check on these bottles at the club just to show out for half naked girls, and that don't even care about them, right? You know what I mean? Like, horrible. Same thing with the girls. These girls are just like spending bottles that are like 10,000% the charge, at the clubs. But so it's pretty much people at the clubs. That's what I'm talking about, right? Guys and girls, and like, you're seeing this, right? These bottles are crazy prices. Everybody knows this. You go and find out these ingredients are fake. And then, there's a Instagram, he's a Instagram account, Mass Spec Everything, I believe. If you, so MASSSPEC Everything. And he was actually showing the chemicals that were inside of these liquors too. And they have artificial sweeteners, they have artificial flavors, artificial aromas, everything. So like, not only were they putting the wrong ingredients that they weren't telling you, but they were also putting just straight up fake ingredients. So while they were telling you it was like, I don't know, let's just say it was I'm not right with exactly what ingredient. Let's just say they were saying it's wheat, while really they were doing corn. So they were lying about the ingredient on label itself to the mainstream. And then also, they weren't even showing and giving the FDA or these regulation companies the actual ingredients list of them putting the artificial fake sweeteners and things. So there was a double entendre with these guys. These guys are, I don't trust these big time liquor companies, and you could see it too, where like, you know, for sure, people have shown, oh, don't get this liquor from America, go get it from Mexico because you'll see the difference in the color, and then boom, you pour it in a glass, and sure enough, one's looking like fake petroleum gases and toxic junk, and then the other one looks like real and smells real, tastes real. It's like, interesting. I mean, I guess that's the same thing with the Coca Cola, right? Yeah, I give up alcohol. I could care less, and I feel really happy about it. So those are three things. Those three things I apply to my life. There's more goals that I wrote down for this year, but I'm very very glad that I'm keeping to these goals so far, and making sure that I'm healthy on fermented foods. Uh, Proper nutrition with proteins and H2O, and proper daily fitness. It's good, because these days you can see a lot of people don't care about their health, but I do, and I'm gonna make sure that everyone around me cares about their health too. Let's get to the news, guys. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Yeah, I'm just fucking around. Oh my god, yo, right here. So here's from Science News. Scientists are building viruses from scratch to fight superbugs. We're going to brush through this pretty quick. I'm not going to get too deep. So this is from January 21st, 2026, from the New England Biolabs. Researchers from the New England Biolabs and Yale University described the first fully synthetic bacteriophage engineering system for Pseudomonas aeruginoso, I think, an antibiotic resistant bacterium of global concern in the new study. The system is enabled by high complexity Golden Gate assembly platform. In this assembly, researchers engineer bacteria synthetically using sequence data rather than bacteria isolates. So it's pretty much like CRISPR for bacteria, and now things are about to get crazy, I think. So now they're like genetically building super viruses, and not only super bugs, but it's yep, pretty wild. Next up, here is from WPI. Let's see exactly what it is. It's, I don't know, WPI.edu. So figure that out for yourselves. Carbon negative building material developed by Worcester Polytechnic Institute, published in Matter magazine. So from December 5th, 2025. Worcester Polytech Institute researchers have created a new carbon negative building material that could transform sustainable construction. The work is published in high impact journal Matter, details the development of enzymatic structural material. Where is this? Sorry, but the color pattern on this is messing my eyes right now. So very interesting. It will be strong, durable, recyclable, and have low energy. Okay. Led by Nima Rabar, the Ralph White H family distinguished professor and head of the Department of Civil, Environmental, and Architectural Engineering, the research team engineered ESM by using an enzyme to help convert carbon dioxide into solid mineral particles. Interesting. Got to think about that, right? So they're using an enzyme to help convert carbon dioxide into solid material or mineral particles. These particles were then bound together and cured under mild conditions, enabling the resulting material to be molded into structural forms within hours, unlike traditional concrete without unlike traditional concrete, which requires high temperatures and weeks of curing. ESM is created rapidly, and a dramatically lower environmental impact is I guess that's one of the things that they like about this. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, the whole thing about carbon is if we go carbon zero, we literally will be dead. So, like, what good is carbon zero at what point? And I mean, could this be used, I guess, for places that truly produce too much carbon? But it is that even a real thing? Hmm. We see technologies and things, materials are really made, you know, uh, by the big stream, big tech with big companies, and sometimes they aren't really good for us, like plastic. Yeah, plastic isn't really good for us. I wonder why it's made. I wonder why it's so big. I wonder why the companies push it. I wonder why it's not really cleaning up anything, but only destroying things. And oh, hmm, probably like that for a reason. So this brick, oof, probably like this for a reason. Next up, New York Post viral. 4-year-old Southern California girl gets death threats over NFL picks. If you threaten my 4-year-old daughter, I'll go to your house, beat your ass, and shove your cell phone in the toilet, flush it, shove all your electronics in the toilet, flush it. A 4-year-old Southern California girl rose to internet fame by predicting football winners on her dad's social media and is now at the center of all the online losers. So she's facing death threats as angry gamblers blame her for their losses. Are you kidding? Oh, God. So these dumbasses blame a 4-year-old girl for gambling and trusting her, then blaming her. Get real, bro. Like, if I ever gamble, I'm not blaming it on anyone. There's no blame. It's just a gamble. It's in its own name. You oof. I would beat the living sense out of any hater. Come on, come at me and my kid if I ever have a kid. Come at me and uh my girl's kid. You know what I mean? Like fight, fuck around and find out, motherfucker. The charming ritual, part of a series called Trust the Toddler, began innocently enough as a way of Donatelli to teach his daughter about colors and geography using miniature football teams. Fans had been delighted by little Reese, watching as she enthusiastically chose winners by grabbing the helmet of the team she thought would triumph. Her videos amassed millions of views and thousands of likes and comments. But things went south earlier this month during the NFL's wild card round. Reese reportedly started missing a lot of games, becoming an accidental reverse jinx for teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yo, I'm a Ravens fan, so boo Steelers. Oh. As her misses went viral, the Trust the Toddler comment sections turned dark. Yo, that's pretty bad. That's real messed up. That's come on, man. She's just a 4-year-old baby. She's just a little baby. Yo, I mean, but if she's really like making people money and then suddenly she makes people lose money, dang, bro. And she's a Steelers fan though. Wait, oh wait, no wait, oh wait, is she a Green Bay fan? I can't tell. If her dad's a Steelers fan, then she's probably a Steelers fan. So good. Thank God the Steelers lost. She's obviously not an NFL analyst. Donatelli told the Los Angeles Times she's picking teams based on the color of her dress, or she'll pick the Packers because she likes cheese. She just relates these silly little things as a reason why she picks certain teams. Even Cardi B got in the mix, reportedly taking a dig at Reese after she chose the New England Patriots to beat the Houston Texans over the weekend. In an Instagram live, she said, "Little white girl said we're going to win. F that. What?" And she immediately added, "I didn't mean to say that. What? Oh, Cardi B, no. I already don't like Cardi B. And now she's. Oh, man. I need these articles. These articles are gold. One moment right here while I'm looking at something. All right. So next article from Archaeology magazine, sites in Iraq suggest Zoroastrians and Christians were neighbors. Kurdistan, Iraq. According to the statement released by Goethe University Frankfurt, a building complex at the Gurd-e-Kazwas site in northern Iraq has been identified as a Christian church and possible monastery of Alexander Tam of Friedrich Alexander University and Dirk Wick of Goethe University, Frankfurt. The complex is located near a settlement mound and a small fortification site attributed to the Persian Sasanian Empire and dated to the 5th and 6th centuries AD. The Persian and Sasanian empires established Zoroastrianism as their state religion. The possible church, dated around AD 500, features 5 square pillars made of quarried stone that were partially plastered with white gypsum. It seems like there's some very awesome things in the past that might explain more about who we are, what our true nature is together on this planet, and it might give us a lot more answers. I just wish that archaeology was more beloved by these places like CNN, Fox, and MSNBC. But we like they sell fear mongering, fear porn, right? They want you scared. It's only independent news researchers like me, I guess, that really, other a whole bunch of other news researchers out there for sure. Hundreds and thousands of researchers go and talk about these archaeology, but it's independent sources. What I mean, and I just wish that this were more in the light because there's truly some fascinating things underneath our feet, and you know 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet down. I'm drinking way more water lately, guys. I love it. Oh, shoot. Let me get back to the article. The possible church, dated to around 8500, features 5 square pillars made of quarried stone that were partially plastered with white gypsum. Interesting. If this church was in use at the time of the Sasanian fortification, it would suggest that the Sasanian Zoroastrians lived side by side with the Christians. The later Islamic cemetery at the site indicates that the people of the region eventually converted to Islam. Eventually, or they were killed off. Whoa, so let's just say, hypothetically, they were murdered. Because, I mean, really? You think Christians are going to convert to Islam just like that? Easy? Especially one of the most controversial times ever. Jesus, the apostles, the angels, the persecution. I mean, they really staked people, beheaded people hardcore around those times. Very strange period. Next up from Archaeology magazine, 1,100-year-old mummy examined in Chile. Santiago, Chile, reports that Catalina Morales and Francisco Garrido of Chile's National Museum of Natural History examined the 1,100-year-old remain of a man unearthed in the Atacama Desert. At the time of the discovery in the 1970s, it was noted that the man's lower left leg was broken and that he had likely been involved in an accident in a nearby turquoise mine. The new study suggests that the man was between the ages of 25 and 40 at the time of the death, sometime between AD 894 and 1016. You like my Latin accent, guys? You like my accent Latin? X-rays and CT scans of the mummy show that he had suffered extensive trauma, likely caused by a rockfall and collapse of the mine. The injuries included fractures of the upper spine and displaced vertebrae, shoulder blade and collarbone fractures, and rib fractures, and collapsed rib cage. Such injuries are typically associated with severe spinal cord damage. I'm I'm a bit high and I love it. I feel great. I'm just happy lately, guys. Such injuries are typically associated with severe spinal cord damage. He was likely a head down position when the accident occurred. Since there are no injuries found in the skull, neck, or arms, this suggests that he may have been mining, using a stone hammer to extract turquoise from the rock, or may have covered his head from arms to protect himself from falling rock. So this guy was playing Minecraft back in the day, and shit got real, and he collapsed in. Sucks, man. Did he at least get the turquoise? We will never know. Next up from Archaeology Magazine. Poison detected on 60,000-year-old arrowheads. Stockholm, Sweden. Hunting with poison arrows has been pushed back to 60,000 years, according to Life Science Report. Sivan Isaacson of Stockholm University and his colleagues detected traces of poison and residues on 5 quartz arrowheads recovered from South Africa's Umlatsuna rock shelter, which was excavated in 1985. The toxin called bufanandronine bufandronine. I don't know. What have we could pray? Thus reducing the length of time and amount the energy expended on the hunt. The toxin eubonifanis was detected just one was just detected on one of the arrowheads, but both toxin had probably been applied to all the weapons. Isaacson said they may have been derived from the same plant, Buffon disica, which grows in southern Africa and is known locally today as the source of poison arrows. Humans have long relied on plants and food for biomanufacturing tools, but this finding demonstrates the deliberate exploitation of plant biochemical properties. Oh, you mean like they do today? But this is old. 60,000 years old. So, there are tales from the Sumerian kings list. There are tales from other sources around the world where kings and societies would go back 50,000 years, 100,000 years, 200,000 years, 250,000 years, 500,000 years. So there are some tales and some scriptures, some books, some records from cultures that date their civilization going back that far. Some the latest, the oldest that some speculate would be like a million years ago. We had humans walking the earth, and not just like stone ape humans, like actual us type humans. And like when they talk about these gods and deities that existed, they reference those being our rulers and us seeing them visibly. So, like, it's kind of an old picture to understand, but if you see real color, you can see the picture for real. Next up on this, I'm gonna light this joint and cover this article briefly. A very good article. So, Science Daily goes and scours the web like me and covers science articles. So they cover all sorts of different articles. Very good place. Go check them out. Right here from Stanford Medicine. Scientists at Stanford Medicine have discovered a treatment that can reverse cartilage loss in aging joints and even prevent arthritis after knee injuries by blocking a protein linked to aging. The therapy restored healthy, shock absorbing cartilage in mice and injured joints, dramatically improving movement and joint function. Human cartilage sample from knee replacement surgeries also began regenerating when exposed to the treatment. Very, very powerful study. We are going to dive deeper into this actually. So, sit right back, get some water, hit your joint, and let's soak this in. A study led by Stanford Medicine researchers has found that an injection blocking a protein linked to aging can reverse the natural loss of knee cartilage in older mice. The same treatment also stopped arthritis from developing after knee injuries that resemble ACL tears, which are common among athletes and recreational exercisers. Researchers note that an oral version of the treatment is already being tested in clinical trials aimed at treating age related muscle weakness. Human cartilage samples taken from knee replacement surgeries also responded positively. These samples, including both the supportive extracellular matrix of the joint and cartilage producing chondrocyte cells, when treated, the tissue began forming new functional cartilage. Together, the findings suggest that cartilage loss due to aging or arthritis may one day be restored using either a pill or targeted injection. If successful in people, such treatments could reduce or even eliminate the need for knee and hip replacement surgery. Okay, pause for a second. Very interesting, right? Because it says it could be pill, so oral, or targeted injection. Targeted injection might be very similar to what people are experiencing with stem cells. People are saying that they're getting the same type of regrowth, repair, and from stem cell treatments over in Mexico, right? Joe Rogan and all these other podcasters talk about it. Stem cells are very, very, very crazy though, because like what they're made of, I don't really support. So if this is not made out of anything with stem cells, I support this right here. Stem cells have like like fetus liver cells or something. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So to dial into this, the protein at the center of the study is called 15-PGDH. Researchers refer to it as a gerozyme because its levels increase as the body ages. Gerozymes were identified by the same research team in 2023 and are known to drive the gradual loss of tissue function. So this enzyme in us, and once we start blocking it or reducing it, we will prevent tissue loss. Interesting. Blocking the enzyme using a small molecule boosted muscle mass and endurance in older animals. In contrast, forcing young mice to produce more 15-PGH caused their muscles to shrink and weaken. The protein has also been connected to regeneration in bone, nerve, and blood cells. In most of the tissues, repair happens through the activation and specialization of stem cells. Cartilage appears to be different. In this case, chondrocytes change how their genes behave, shifting into a more youthful state without relying on stem cells. This is a new way of regenerating adult tissue, and it has significant clinical promise to treating arthritis due to aging or injury. We are looking for stem cells, but they are clearly not involved. It's very exciting. Okay, he answered it right there. We were looking for stem cells, but they are clearly not involved. So they don't have to do anything on that level. So they just have to actually uh, shut down this gerozyme. Very fascinating research, a very fascinating study from Stanford Medicine. And that's the place that Stanford is the place where um, Andrew Huberman came from. With Andrew Huberman, the podcast, the YouTube show that I always recommend to boost your health daily, boost your family's health. It goes and boosts men's and women's health, kids, elderly, whoever you are. He's amazing with neurobiology and just health in general, exercise, all of it. We're going to go to the next. Right here from Wiley. It must be a newspaper. Scientists are taking a closer look at monk fruit and discovering it's more than just a sugar substitute. New researchers show its peel and pulp contain a rich mix of antioxidants and bioactive compounds that may support health. Different varieties offer different chemical profiles, hinting at unique benefits. The work could shape how monk fruit is used in future foods and supplements. So I actually do use monk fruit myself. It's amazing. Um, I don't use it as much as I should, but it's a very good, light, clean sugar. Good for your health too. The enzymes and the different things about it, nutrients, whatever it is. Luohan Soradia grossi, more commonly known as monk fruit, is a long living vine that belongs to the gourd family, the same plant as cucumbers and squash. It is native to southern China, where it has been used for centuries in traditional foods and remedies. In recent years, monk fruit has drawn modern scientific attention because it contains high levels of antioxidants. Antioxidants are substances that help prevent cells from damage caused by unstable molecules known as free radicals, which are linked to aging and many chronic diseases. One of the most important features of monk fruit is its abundance in what scientists call secondary metabolites. These are natural plant chemicals that are not required for basic growth, but often play a role in dense food, color, flavor, and health effects in human. In this case, researchers concentrated on three major groups: terpenoids, flavonoids, and amino acids. Terpenoids are compounds commonly found in plants that have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Right here, cannabis has terpenoids. Flavonoids are another large class of plant compounds known for their ability to neutralize free radicals and support heart and metabolic health. Flavonoids are found right here in cannabis. Amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins, are essential for many processes of the body, including tissue repair and immune function. I don't know if these have amino acids. The scientists examined both the peel and the pulp of four different monk fruit varieties. By doing so, they were able to identify where these compounds are concentrated and how they behave biologically. Beyond simply identifying these substances, the study explored how they interact with antioxidant receptors and other biological targets. Receptors are structures in cells that receive chemical signals and trigger responses in the body. These interactions influence various biological pathways, which are step by step processes that can help regulate functions such as inflammation, metabolism, and cellular protection. Understanding these pathways help explain why monk fruit may have health promoting properties beyond its use as a natural sweetener. The researchers emphasized that not all monk fruit is chemically identical. Different varieties can contain different levels and combinations of active compounds. As the authors explained, it is crucial to conduct an in depth investigation on the high resolution metabolic profiles of different. Oh shit. Fuck. uh, Metabolic profiles of different monk fruit varieties, providing valuable insights into the nutritional and health characteristics as well as the manufacturing suitability of the various resources available from this plant. This type of detailed chemical mapping helps scientists determine which varieties may best suited for food products, supplements, and other uses. Monk fruit is a perennial vine native to China and a member of the gourd family. It is best known today as a zero-calorie natural sweetener, but now it's being proven for more health benefits. Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to start using more monk fruit, and I hope you do too. Um, yeah, I think that I use it in oatmeal. I'm trying to think what I use it in. Sugar, sugar, stupid. Um, Coffee. So oatmeal, coffee. Sometimes I'll put it in my yogurt bowls. In the summer when I do like yogurt and fruit bowls. Um, Sometimes I'll put it on my um sweet potatoes. So I'll do sweet potatoes where I'll put olive oil and all around my sweet potato, douse it, and then cinnamon. So cinnamon and olive oil, and it'll pretty much be a pretty bomb, sweet, super sweet sweet potato. And you could put like honey, you could put like whipped cream, you could put whatever you want with it, and you're gonna enjoy a nice, healthy, vitamin-rich sweet potato. That's not just a sweet potato, but it's a sweet potato. Like, yeah, and try it out. Try it out. And thank me later. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this. Let me first get a drink of water. So, I don't know if you guys have heard Yosemite no more. Um, for decades, visitors at Yosemite Park have been greeted by green and khaki clad rangers who collect fees and guard the park's entrance. But on a chilly morning in December, there are no rangers at the park gates. Tourists descended into the majestic wilderness for free, confused by their apparent good fortune. In fact, ranger sightings were too rare last year, according to park regulars and advocates. Visitors were far less supervised than they normally were, which led to the wrong kinds of wildness, littering, cliff jumping, drone flying. So what? That's America, baby. This is Yosemite under President Donald Trump. Oh my God. Did they just turn this article political? I did not mean for this, guys. This is the press Democrat. So I thought this. Oh my God. Let's just go ahead and see what the fuck it is. So there's a 25% drop in permanent staff across the park service through a combination of Department of Government efficient layoffs. Oh yeah, I did hear about this. Over here in Washington State, it's not just Yosemite. It's a whole nation, and some of it is good because from what I actually hear in Washington State is that there were some of these rangers who didn't need a job. They were literally not doing shit, like nothing, just stealing money, taking money. They wouldn't they weren't responsible for nothing, and they were just there on a job on a payroll. And that some rangers feel like they didn't need to be as much, regardless. So from what I hear from the internal, from like people, when I went out to like camp, and the people were talking about it, it's like, yeah, some of these guys just don't do anything anyway. So, well, what good is like? There's not really a problem. There's not really a problem with it. Some people are actually happy with it, especially since now it says, like, I mean, come on, yeah, the littering's bad, but the cliff jumping, drone flying, it's American. That's like freedom. That's how do I say it? That's what we're supposed to be able to do at a place that's supposed to represent, fun fun time. It doesn't cliff jumping doesn't it's not dangerous, it's not hurting anybody. You're not fucking shooting a gun at someone. Drone flying. You're not dropping a bomb on anyone. So like this article is definitely wrote from the side that I don't like. So I think I'm gonna stop it here. But pretty much, Yosemite Park is dude. This article is going nowhere. I'm just seeing whoever wrote this article is scatterbrainish more than me. But this article is embarrassment because it's like mentioning like 50 different things. Oh, President Abraham Lincoln in 1864 made Yosemite. What the fuck does it got to do with the damn Rangers? Oh my God. That is the left. Anyways, lawsuits alleging systematic bias in AI algorithmic screening tools should serve as a cautionary tale. So, just last year, artificial intelligences were starting to be used by job systems, not just to like read employees, but like for hiring processes. So so now you're at the guise of a system. Well, it was being found out that in a certain area, or I don't know, at a certain time or a certain system was systematically hiring and not hiring people, maybe based on things that it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be screening people on, right? So this whole AI thing, right? It's just a whole talk that I've been having for months or years or whatever. Like, at the wrong hands, this thing can be really bad and separate you and make you literally not allowed in society, not allowed in a job, right? But you really should be. And so these things can be bad. Hopefully that if they continue to use these things, they straighten it out and figure out some type of way to properly use AI to screen applicants. But I think for that type of thing, it's just a better in-person interview and shake hands, meet the actual boss, and figure it out from there. AI shouldn't be used for that because I mean, look, let's just say someone uses a mask and a voice modifier and they changed everything up. Guess what? The AI is not gonna know. It's gonna read a different person, and someone could just lie through the AI to all of that, right? Or to put the right fake name. So like, yeah, if people are hiring, they should definitely not use AI. But hey, lawsuits have already began. Lawsuits have already began for it. Next up, Trump's proposed Greenland deal may give U.S. control of land around military bases. So, what? These guys are trying to take over more land? I thought this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I think this guy's gone out of his mind. Both sides are out of their mind. I don't take either side. Whoever does, definitely, foo foo. Two thumbs down for you, dude. You know, no, I don't take left or right. Left or right, don't take Christ, and so I don't take either one of those because I'll be honest, both sides would literally drag as many of us to jail as they can and lock us up and throw away the key. Not them. They, what's what is the saying? Rules for thee and not for me. That's how they think. That's how these elites think. Uh, so all of these guys, the left and the right politicians, and their money funders, and their families who are all related, they all think like that. Rules for them are not the same for us. So it's like they say rules for us, like well, the rules for thee, meaning us, but not rules for me. So them. So whatever, you get what I mean. Like they don't apply, they don't live by the same rules. Everything that they do is like, oh, they're better than us and they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, cause as much damage, and we're the ones taking all the freaking damage, really. Right? Hey, what good is Greenland? Why are we taking Greenland? From what I know, if like Nikola Tesla's free energy was actually ever allowed, just by a one good president, we wouldn't need any of these natural resources that everybody says. But whatever, right? These guys all sleep with each other's wives like weirdos. Whatever. Yo, next up. This is fascinating right here, guys. This is fascinating. The real Da Vinci Code. Scholars from Quixotic quest to identify Leonardo da Vinci's DNA achieve a milestone. In April 2024, microbial geneticist Norberto Gonzalez Huarbe stood over the enigmatic drawing of a private New York City collection. Gently, he rubbed its centuries old surface front and back like a swab, like those used in COVID-19 testing. Dude. Why'd they have to mention that? It's not every day, Gonzalez Wyberry recalls with a laugh, that one gets to touch a Leonardo. All right, sus, sus. Don't say it like that, man. Come on, dude. Rendered in red chalk on paper, Holy Child shows a young boy's head inclined slightly to the side, his features sketched with a feathery stroke. Light pulls softly around his cheeks and brow, dissolving the edges of his pensive face in a haze of sfumato. The late art dealer Fred Klein, who acquired the drawing in the early 2000s, had claimed stylistic features such as the left hand hatching, a trademark of Leonardo da Vinci's link Holy Child to the Renaissance master, but its authorship remains in dispute. Experts say one of his students could have produced it. Gonzalez Huarbe's swab may have captured a biological clue in a remarkable milestone in a decade long odyssey. He and other members of the Leonardo da Vinci DNA Project, a global scientific collection, report in a paper posted today in BioRx4. They have recovered DNA from Holy Child and other objects, and some may be from Leonardo da Vinci himself. The preprint concludes that the Y chromosome sequences from the artwork and from the letter penned by a cousin of Leonardo both belong to the genetic grouping of people who share a common ancestry. I apologize if it went barely went mute. Um, 1 second. Okay, I was just checking to make sure the audio was correct, and we are good. We are back. Thank you for staying tuned. Now I totally forgot where I was. The preprint concludes that the Y chromosome sequences from the artwork and from a letter penned by the cousin of Leonardo both belong to the genetic grouping of people who share a common ancestor in Tuscany, where Leonardo was born. The data suggests that DNA on the artwork could be Leonardo's, but it's far from proof, says geneticist Charles Lee, whose team at the Jackson Laboratory for Genomic Medicine analyzed samples from Holy Child. Establishing unequivocal identity is extremely complex. That's because scientists can't verify the sequences against any DNA samples known to have come from Leonardo himself. His burial site was disturbed early in the 19th century, and he had no direct descendants. Circumstantial evidence that the DNA fragments are Leonardo's could come from the research. Y chromosome sampling of recently identified living descendants of his father and efforts to extract DNA from tombs where his relatives are buried. But identifying Leonardo's DNA is about as hard as a target there is. In ancient DNA research, says S. Blair Hedges, an evolutionary biologist at Temple University. All the same, the preprint is a great paper, cutting edge stuff, says Hedges, who has pioneered methods for sampling DNA on medieval manuscripts and is not affiliated with the project. They put together an impressive platform of approaches that the field can build on. The hunt for Leonardo da Vinci's DNA has been a high profile proving ground for artomics, an emerging field that can transform how the art world authenticates and protects its most precious objects. Today, authorship decisions hinge on expert opinion. For example, how a brushstroke was made. Connoisseurship is still what counts, says project chair Jesse Osenbull, an environmental scientist at Rockefeller University who previously led a major project to census the diversity of marine life, DNA, and other biological traces, could soon supplement an expert's eye. Leonardo's projects effort doesn't just open a new window, it opens a whole new world for authenticating art, says chemist Stefan Simon, director of Rathgen Research Laboratory at the National Museums of Berlin, who is not affiliated with the project. The project's members hope their findings will persuade guardians of Leonardo's artworks and notebooks to allow further sampling. It's well known that Leonardo used his fingers along with his brushes while painting, so it could be possible to find cells of epidermis mixed with the colors. Identifying Leonardo's DNA could not only help pin down the origin of disputed pieces such as the Holy Child, but might point to biological traits underpinning his genius, although some scholars resist chalking up his abilities to his genes. I tend to explain Leonardo more as a result of a favorable cultural and economic content. Yet some of what made Leonardo unique seems rooted in his biology, his extraordinary ability to capture subtle shifts of light and motion, for example, has long hinted at exceptional visual acuity. Leonardo da Vinci's project aspires to one day find genetic variants that could account for it, says Gonzalez Warbe, who works at the University of Maryland. Our hope is to open a door to explaining what was so unique about the smartest guy in history. Born in 1452, in the Tuscan hamlet of Anciano, Italy, near Vinci, as the illegitimate son of a notary. Leonardo rose to become one of the most dazzling polymaths in the Renaissance. He dissected cadavers to map anatomy, charted river currents to design canals, and sketched helicopters centuries before the first one took flight. He left behind fewer than 20 paintings. The Mona Lisa and The Last Supper are the most famous, and thousands of drawings, sketches, and notes that continue to offer new insights 5 centuries later. Leonardo died on the 2nd of May, 1519, in France and was interred in the chapel of St. Hubert in Amboise. Leonardo da Vinci's project was born on 2014 when anthropologist Brunetto Schiarelli at the Unify suggested to Asobal and the colleague that scientists might gain access to Leonardo's presumed tomb in Amboise. Leonardo da Vinci's project animating question Asobal says was whether the relics in that tomb containing Leonardo's DNA. Since then, an interdisciplinary gang of more than 3 dozen scientists on 2 continents has joined the project, carving time from their day jobs and scrimping money from a patchwork of public and private sources. They are working on multiple fronts, from sampling artwork to retrieving DNA from putative Leonardo relatives, both ancient and living. The A key first step to identifying some of Leonardo's DNA for matching to whatever genetic material may be retrieved from artwork. Officials in charge of the tomb at Amboise advise that the team may eventually be granted access to the tomb, but only after they isolated putative Leonardo DNA from elsewhere. One possibility stems from an 1863 excavation at Amboise by novelist and impresario Arsene Houssaye, who found a skull he thought was Leonardo's and a lock of whitish blonde hair that he speculated come from Leonardo's beard. The lock vanished for decades and resurfaced in 2019 when a private collector allowed it to go on display at the Museo Ideale Leonardo da Vinci. LDVP plans to radiocarbon date a single strand. If it is the right age, Osabel says, then it may make sense to sacrifice another strand to get DNA. One big advantage of prizing ancient DNA from a hair is that its surface can be scrubbed of contaminating DNA from other sources. Some researchers have suggested the next logical step would be to examine the hair and artwork for mitochondrial DNA, which is about 100 times more abundant than the DNA in the chromosomes of the nucleus. But mitochondrial DNA is inherited from the mother, and no one knows where Leonardo's mother, Caterina, who was a 16-year-old servant when she gave birth to him, is buried. For now, with no reliable sample of Leonardo's remains, LDVP has turned to his male relatives, focusing on the Y chromosome. Many sections of the Y are passed down almost unchanged from father to son, without recombining the genes from mother to father, as happens in most chromosomes. Then the Y chromosome can preserve a clear biological trail stretching across centuries. Leonardo's father, Ser Piero da Vinci, was a successful official in Florence, and he had at least 23 children with several women. Alessandro Vesossi, director of the Museo Ideale of Leonardo da Vinci, and a genealogist, Agnes Sabato of the Leonardo da Vinci Heritage Association, have poured through parish registers, wills, and deeds to reconstruct Leonardo's paternal line, from the birth of his grandfather in 1331 to the present. In a 400-page tome published in May 2025, the duo traced four uninterrupted male lines originating with Ser Piero da Vinci and spanning 21 generations. They identified 15 living male descendants, now 14 after one died in December. Later this month, Caramelli's team will sequence DNA from several of them. Meanwhile, to amass the ancestral Da Vinci Y chromosome in another way, Carmelli set his sights on the graves of his male relatives. Ser Piero da Vinci's tomb is in Florence, but so far has been off limits to LDVP. Recent historical researchers suggest Leonardo's paternal grandfather, Antonio, a paternal uncle, and two half siblings were buried in a family vault in the church of Santa Croce in Vinci. 2 years ago, Caramelli asked a unified colleague, archaeologist Alessandro Riga, to lead the expedition there. So, Leonardo da Vinci, he was part of this big family. I had no idea. And so his family had something to do with the city in Vinci, and just just a guess, just a guess. If they had something to do with a church, so they were in a family vault in the church. Interesting. They were a very noble family, but he was the illegitimate son of a noble man, noble of a businessman who came from noble blood, something like that. I don't know. Riga, who grew up in Tuscany, taking school field trips to the Museo Leonardo da Vinci in the master's birthplace, leapt at the chance. Leonardo is part of our collective imagination and an inspiration for many scientists today. How could I not be of this project? I seriously want to go be an archaeologist somewhere in the world, like later in the future. When just that'd be amazing. In April 2024, Riga embarked in a month-long expedition funded by the Richard Lounsbury Foundation. If I could just go like Giza and just like go check out the pyramids, and that'd be amazing. The church had been renovated in the early 20th century, so I didn't really expect to find anything, Riga says. But on the very first day, they dug through the floor into a narrow, partially collapsed brick-lined chamber. It reminded me of a scene in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade when he breaks through the church towers and discovers a hidden vault, Riga says. Working by flashlight, his team unearthed glass beads, crosses, jewelry, and human bones from about 5 or 6 individuals. They found 3 well preserved, dense bones likely to be rich in DNA, 2 petrous temporal bones, and an inner ear bone. Radiocarbon analysis showed one Petrus bone dated between 1421 and 1457 when Leonardo's grandfather was alive. Caramelli and Unifi paleogeneticists Martina Lari and Michele Ciervo recovered and sequenced enough degraded DNA to discover the individual was a man. Further analysis will probe how Y chromosome markers from the bone compare with those of living relatives. Caramelli's team plans another expedition at Santa Croce into an untouched vault that may hold better preserved DNA. While Caramelli's team worked on human remains, Gonzalez, Huarbe, Roby, and colleagues at the J. Craig Venter Institute refined protocols to retrieve trace DNA from Leonardo's art without causing harm, practicing on less valuable artworks. This method, swabbing gently with moistened tip, then from the dry swab, allows scientists to collect samples ensnared in paper fibers. Paper is porous, it absorbs sweat, skin, bacteria, DNA. All of it stays there. Interesting. Swapping masterpieces like the Mona Lisa or the Last Supper was not on LDVP's wish list. These work have been cleaned and handled a lot. Oswald says instead, the team gained access to lesser works. One disputed Leonardo sketch study of the front legs of a horse yielded a rich Manigray microbial sequence, but there was no signal of the degraded human DNA, says Jackson geneticist Mark Loftus. Gonzalez, Huarbe, and Roby turned to the Holy Child, and for comparison to three drawings of other master artists, two Italian and one French, from 1501, 1625, and 1740. Holy Child was infused with the DNA of a sweet orange tree, Citrus sinensis, cultivated in the Medici gardens as a symbol of power during the Renaissance, suggesting the team is on the right track. You could think of it like an environmental fingerprint. It's not proof of where the drawing was made, it tells us something about the world it passed through. The team also recovered plenty of human DNA from Holy Child, especially from the back of the drawing. The first task was to show it wasn't Klein's. The art dealer's partner, Angela Zim, recalled that 23andMe had sequenced Klein's DNA. In April, she sent those to Gonzalez Huarbe, whose team quickly ruled out Klein. That was a coup, but the team was still left wondering whether the remaining DNA is Leonardo's. That is someone in the studio or anyone else who Klein may have laid hands on with and with the Holy Child in the past 500 years. So they sought objects that might hold traces of DNA of Leonardo's male relatives. Leonardo's father left a promising trail, volumes he compiled as a notary that he kept in the state archives of Florence. The books are ginormous. Anything having to do with Leonardo is sensitive. There are a lot of people watching over and guarding. But the Prato archive of the Datini Palace in Tuscany was less restrictive. It holds letters penned in the 1400s by Rossini d'Ursi Giovanni da Vinci, a cousin of Leonardo da Vinci's grandfather, and Prato archivists allow LDVP to dry swab them. Archivists have previously digitized the letters so they weren't free of modern contamination, but many had been elaborately sealed with string and wax, which bore the sender's thumbprint. One letter had a ton of human DNA embedded in its wax seal. The letter also turned out to be rife with DNA from the Plasmodium malaria parasite. Malaria was an endemic in Tuscany during the Renaissance. So look, they're getting real in depth, and I ain't gonna lie, this is a really fascinating study. Um, it makes me think about the whole Da Vinci Code books and all of that. It also makes me think what they really want with this DNA. Like they are going beyond and out of their way to figure out how to get Leonardo's DNA. Man, um, it's like they want to clone him, right? Yeah. You know that whole story of Elon Musk and Amber Heard. Amber Heard taking his DNA. Amber Heard needs to get on this team. Help them. Yeah, that was pretty wild. Uh, that yeah, was pretty wild. The whole Johnny Depp thing was pretty crazy too. Anyways, anyways, with human Y chromosome and other nuclear DNA sequences from both the drawing and letters in hand, the LDVP team approached Lee, a Y chromosome expert. In late 2024, Lee was intrigued, and LDVP sent him blinded sequence data from the swabs of Holy Child, several Frosino letters, and the cheeks of the scientists who sampled the materials. Lee, Loftus, and Jackson geneticist Payal Halast compared the sequences with a panel of some 90,000 known markers, changes in individual base pairs that group Y chromosome sequences into lineages called haplogroups. Four samples from Holy Child and the Frosino letters could be reliably assigned to a haplogroup, and they all converged on E1B11 E1B1B, a lineage found in the Tuscany area that Leonardo's extended family might have carried. It's a great starting point. It's a flip of a coin. I'll feel a lot better about it if a horse sketch had yielded DNA from the same haplogroup. Hedge adds that the Y chromosome haplogroup could belong to a number of any Italian curators who handled these objects over the years. I don't know. I think that they probably took enough samples to know for sure, but you might be right. I mean, it could just be a random different Italian family that very similar. Who knows? Lee and the LDVP team hope to probe deeper into the Da Vinci Y chromosome lineage using recent advances in telomere to telomere sequencing, in which hundreds and thousands of DNA base pairs are read in a single go, sharpening the picture of highly repetitive sections of the Y chromosome that had been notoriously tough to sequence accurately. Long read sequencing may not work on fragmented ancient DNA, but it would be a powerful tool for building a high resolution reference from the living Da Vinci descendants. Lee says we can differentiate a Y chromosome, for example, from one brother to potentially another brother, even in the same family. Such granular detail could allow scientists to identify within a broader haplogroup a unique set of variants that only belong to the Da Vinci family. That might allow them to distinguish close family members from many others who share the E1B1B haplogroup. If these efforts managed to pinpoint Leonardo Y's chromosome, its sequence would become the project's genomic ground truth. DNA recovered from other sources, such as works of art, could be measured against it, providing a powerful tool for identification. It might unlock a genetic clue to Leonardo's genius. The master's notebook brim with drawings of swirling water, birds in flight, and eddies spiraling for bridge piers. In his 1510 Studies of Water, Leonardo wrote, "The water forms turns eddies, one of which follows the impetus of the main chorus, while the others follow the incidence and reflection." Such details are so fleeting that scientists today puzzle over how he could have seen them all. Leonardo was detailing snapshots of phenomena that the most of us do not perceive as discrete events. For example, how a dragonfly in flight alternately raises its front and back wings, says LDVP's David Dowler, a geneticist at the University of Basel. His eyes were sampling the world at a faster rate, like a movie camera capturing many frames per second. LDVP's Massimo Guerrero, a hydraulics expert at the or hydraulics engineer at the University of Bologna, and Rudi Alexio, a physicist at the Institute of Hydroengineering of the Polish Academy of Sciences, modeled flow around a pier depicted in a Leonardo the sketch. They mounted pier facsimiles in a lab flume using high-speed cameras and acoustic Doppler to capture horseshoe vortices and other flow patterns. We wanted to see the smallest eddies Leonardo could draw. From that, we could set a lower bound on how fast his iris could resolve motion. Leonardo's horseshoe vortices match the shapes produced in the lab's flow. The fidelity of his sketches implies that he may have perceived transient patterns that flickered in the equivalent of roughly 100 frames per second. The researchers argued in the September 2025 issue of Results of Engineering, most studies placed normal human motion perception around 30 to 60 frames per second. Most. If Leonardo really could perceive faster motion than most humans, the next question is whether biology can help explain it. Thaler suggests variants of genes such as KCNB1 and KCNV2, which code for potassium channel proteins in the retina, could be the top candidates. That's plausible, says Uwan Wee, an ion channel biologist in Seattle Children's Hospital. Other candidates, he says, includes genes for phosphodiesterase, enzymes involved in cell signaling and photoreception. It's probably not one gene, but several. The answer may lie not only in Leonardo's eyes, but in his brain. Add Gregory Ivory, a hydraulic engineer in the University of Western Australia. The master may have been exceptionally adept at processing images and inferring patterns, he says. This comes from staring for a long time and thinking about the evolving flow. We're not saying genius is in the genes, but if you see things that other people can't, you might think and create things that other people don't. For now, however, genetics can only hint at such traits, even if the Y chromosome fragments recovered so far are Leonardo's are unlikely to yield close to enhanced vision. Genes involved in retinal function and brain processing lie in other chromosomes. DNA from the living members of the Da Vinci lineage might yet turn up promising variants elsewhere in the genome, but definitive evidence could only come from Leonardo's own DNA, whether from the Amboise lock hair, if it truly belonged to him, from his bones, if any survive, or from artwork and notebooks rich in genetic material. For centuries, the life of Leonardo da Vinci has been pieced together from paint, ink, and paper, the fragile traces of a singular mind that could uh, be about to change. Buoyed by the first glimpse of what Leonardo da Vinci's DNA may be like, LDVP scientists are hoping aficionados will allow them to swap material that could steal the one. Asubul understands the hesitation to date. There's a small army of people who study Leonardo, and we come out of nowhere. He says, he hopes the rigor of the team's work and public interest will open the door to more sampling. Top candidates are the Codex Atlanticus, a bound volume with 2,238 pages of Leonardo's drawings and writings held in the Library of Institute of France, and the Codex Leicester, a 72-page notebook of Leonardo's scientific observations that Bill Gates purchased in 1994. What? 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 I'm glad I read this. More than just anything. One page has a fingerprint Lorenza says is almost certainly Leonardo's. Then there are the Madrid Codices, 2 volumes of Leonardo's technical drawings at the Spanish National Library. LDVP has been in discussion for years to secure non invasive access. LDVP's journey also hints at a cultural turning point. Heritage science has long treated biology as a bug, as a contaminant needed to be scrubbed away, Asable says. But the Leonardo DNA project, he says, reveals that biology is a feature. It's a new evidentiary layer that can bolster attribution, but it may offer a glimpse in the past and for the first time of the living imprint of Leonardo himself. That was an amazing article from science.org. I'm going to go ahead and post this in the chat for everybody out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. tell everybody around that this is the best podcast that you guys know about because it is a real podcast for real people providing real news, real information, real vibes, and I'm a real guy, always really high. And I hope you guys enjoyed this article about Da Vinci because literally that was one of the coolest articles that I've heard. It makes me wonder about a lot, right? First and foremost, what do they want with Leonardo da Vinci's DNA? They say, oh well, we're just like trying to see his eye strength. Like, come on, it's not. Is it really that important? What's it gonna do? I think that they want to take it for human cloning, just like they're doing with the rest of this thing, the woolly mammoths, the Siberian tigers, or the whatever it is, saber tooth tigers. They're doing it with Scythian warriors. Yes, over in northern Europe, they're trying to recreate Scythian warriors, Russian warriors, these ancient warriors, like from thousands of years ago. Same thing with China. It's see that's one thing that they're not telling us about the DNA and cloning projects is that they are currently trying to recreate every ancient person. It's kind of like the record of Ragnarok. Yeah, very interesting anime. Very cool. Very dope. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Peace. I'll be back tomorrow. So typically Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. I'm still working out the kinks as far as getting myself back in the flow. My foot feels a whole lot better. The pain has gone down significantly. Remember, guys, this is all crowdfunded. This is all self-made, self-funded. You know, I don't take contract money. I don't take big money, and I don't take Illuminati money. I don't take Mason money. I don't take no damn government money. I don't take no gang money. I don't take no BS money. I don't take no money from anybody who's a smuck. I just take, you know, good vibes and good information, and I feed it out to everybody out there for free. And I do this all at the hands of me. So I built this from ground up. And if you guys want to donate, please, please, please donate over to 509 Divine Pines, Cash App, PayPal, and buy me a coffee. So if you want to buy me a coffee, send me some money over at 509 Divine Pines. Buy me a coffee. Thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Be blessed. Be high. Peace. I love y'all.